Hi guys, okay, we are back in the office and I wanted to spend a little time when we're not rushed to really thoroughly examine the new espresso. So it's like, I love it. Someone, we sent out an email blast with the espresso and said, how do you take your espresso? Bella or Jane?
I like
and
that.
I'm like, right? It's
Yeah.
so funny. And I was like, that's so funny. But I take my espresso in both because I love both of them. So you know what, this is a great opportunity to just examine this beautiful Italian suede that we're using on this on these two items. I love the fact that this is a quilted Bella and I'm obsessed with this Bella. It is so amazing, and it's so funny because my sisters, I asked them what they want and they're like, can we get more Bellas please? Because my sister has been wearing it every day as a crossbody and I love how it looks on her. I don't know if we have a chain strap here. So we have the cable chain strap that we've been using and I love it as a crossbody and it's so comfortable. But I'm a kind of a clutch kind of girl. So I love that how this looks. You know, it's just this and it's soft and it's just so supple and quilted. It's just beautiful. That one is the chunky one. I'm looking for the longer one, but I don't think we have one. So let me just show you with any of our straps, just what it would look like as a crossbody. So you could use just the green and red is such a beautiful, traditional, nice one that you could use on there. There's the 2D rings in the back and all you have to do is just clip it on and off you go. And it's totally a nice little crossbody, which then you could use at night as a little clutch. And then you could also use it as a shoulder bag, which is great. Matt brought out that big chunky chain. And I think
Well, like that, right?
yeah, and I think that would be great as a shoulder strap. I also found our new zebra strap, which is amazing.
Oh, people were asking, everyone was asking about this.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it gorgeous? So it's up online. I think it's almost sold out because I think people were waiting for this to come in. We changed it up in the pony and I think it looks really, not pony, but it's in the calf hair. So it's beautiful. I love it as a shoulder strap and I kind of really dig doing this with it. So it's such a versatile bag. You could also just do it as a shoulder strap plus a crossbody if you want. And I just love it. I think it's a great size. I love how it looks, but in the suede, it's so different, you know? I feel like it's just really rich and it's something that's just like you walk by and you're like, oh my God, what is that? So this one I'm obsessed with and I just love it so much. I have it on my desk. I have every Bella, I think. I've been really using the denim one, the luggage one I love. That one breaks in so well. And this one now, I'm just so in love with them. Okay, and then now the Jane. I just looked at the numbers. Jane in this batch is almost sold out. So if you're on the fence, like, am I going to get this or not? I think it's just so popular and so great. So it comes with the cognac shoulder strap, but I paired it with our new studded strap. I think I showed this a couple weeks ago, and this amazing strap. It's just so beautiful. So the studding is done by hand. So each one of them is placed by hand because we couldn't find the exact pattern of the studding that we liked, and I love it this way. So it just looks beautiful. It comes in cognac and it also comes in the black. It's just a wonderful strap. So I love how, I love again, the light weight of this, the richness of this, and this is just, excuse me, gonna break in so well, and you can put your computer in here. And I just love that this is just a giant bag and people are loving it because
Oh, so you're saying is the inventory, people should order now because they would have to wait otherwise?
Yeah, because it's been so popular. It took us by surprise actually, and so I'm just really excited. And I took one and now I might have to put it back because I'm gonna have to wait for the next batch. I love this bag. So take a look at it online. You can ask me any questions. We could pair it. Maybe we'll do a PTTV this week with the espressos and we could do some really amazing pairings with it. So these two are just really wonderful. And then I passed by the store today and I looked at these two and I'm like, these two are the most amazing, beautiful things. So I've been using this one a lot when I was in Japan and I just love it because I don't know, I just love the fact that it's a sling bag, but then it has a special little platinum pocket, which makes it really kind of just fun and unexpected. It's like wearing camo pants with little gold shoes, right? Like unexpected. What are you gonna wear camo pants usually with some boots or something, or I don't know, whatever, sneakers, but I was like, you know what, let's put on, and someone had a pair of camo pants on the other day. I think it was Marlene Rentmeister, and or Rentmeester, and she had a picture of camo pants with pair of Chanel ballet flats that Meg Dorsey had on, and I thought that's so cute too. I love that push and pull of like camo is something really odd and traditional, or like gold shoes or Chanel, like those Chanel sling back. Those are great with the camo pants. And then I love this, and I have this myself, the silver with the eggshell. It's just so wonderful. It's so beautiful. I love the, just again, unexpected pocket, but it makes it really special. And it takes the concept of a sling bag and it makes it into something really cool. And this is just a wonderful bag that I would just put a chunky chain on it and use it as a night bag, honestly. So, and it would be super cool. And then during the day, you just put a crossbody on it and it becomes a little bit more casual. So I love the fact that when you change up the chains and the outfits you're pairing with your bags, it really does allow for you to live your life, I think, with ease and elegance, because you have one bag, but you could use it during the day with your sneakers and make it real casual, and then at night just change the chain up, dress it up with a really cool outfit, and suddenly it's a different bag, but it's the same bag. So that's what's going on today, Matt. What else is going on? What else is going on? Oh, I've been really trying to do my exercise videos, but
People are watching them.
they are?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just been it's so hard to film myself.
Just do one segment.
Okay.
Don't overwhelm yourself. Just
Okay.
do one segment.
Yeah, because I want to include everything. But I was like, and then I get so in the morning I'm kind of
We're
out
gonna
of
post
it.
them all as separate segments anyway, so just do one.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do.
And for people who haven't seen it, head over to YouTube. There's
Yes.
a playlist called Irene's Morning Routine, and you can check it out.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Everything is going to reside. All these videos that go away on stories or OOTDs, we're starting to move everything so that there's a place for them on YouTube. And it's fun. And I think we're going to start a section on just wellness, and Matt and I chatting about wellness. There's so much that we have learned in the last 4 or 5 years. And I think it's also just to introduce ourselves in a weird way and to explain, like, why do we do what we do? And I think that's a great question. Like, why do we? It was so funny because today I was talking to someone and they asked me, like, well, can I ask you a question? Doing this type of business is one of probably the most, it's very difficult and it's really stressful every day. He's like, may I ask you why you decided to venture into this crazy zone? And I'm like, you know what? I love it. I love it because I love making product. But, aside from making the product and sharing these ideas with everyone, I think what we've discovered in the last 4 or 5 years is, in addition to making the product that we make, it's our PT family that we have found, and also just sharing
I think
growth.
that's when everything fundamentally shifted.
Yeah.
When we started meeting
Yeah.
our PT family.
And it gives a real reason for why we do what we do. It's not just making a product. It's making a product that we really believe in, that I really believe can make your life a little bit more fun, but also just doing it with real ease, So that's why I was just talking about the sling bag, and it has a funny pocket on it. But you know what? If it was all ease, then it would just be a functional bag that you could probably buy at the sporting goods store. But the fact that then we kind of really use our imagination and make it with materials that are unexpected, combinations that are unexpected, that brings the fun and the elegance into it. And I feel like that's what we all need in our lives, So, and then we also want to build something that you could actually use every day. That's something that's really important for Matt and I, would you not say?
Yeah.
Because I really do believe in having...
It's like we always talk about it, but it's products that can go along the journey with you.
Yeah, and having things that, and it's so funny because we're new bag is coming in, and I named it the Coco because it's a little bit more serious and it's a little bit more not so slouchy. So, and it looks like something kind of like that timeless kind of Coco looking bag. And then I was looking at the Coco Chanel's whole bio, and she's so fascinating to me because when she came on and she was doing what she was doing, she really revolutionized how women dressed, and with her quilted, now we look at that quilted little box Chanel bag, Matt, and I was like, okay, it seems really dressy to me, but at the time that was revolutionary because it was the first bag that women could be hands-free because it was a crossbody on it with the chain. And before, I think women always carry these little dainty, tiny little bags, you know, and
So ironically, in its day, it was more casual.
yeah, super casual. So it was really funny. And then she also created the first type of clothing that you could pull over your neck, you know, and then that Chanel little tweedy jacket that is now so iconic, you know, that was again something that was kind of, you know, not ever seen before. So it's really fascinating, made of, you know, boucle, which was, I guess, not a very expensive fabrication back then. So it's really fascinating. So I, you know, like I look at that and I was like, that's so cool that she like introduced something that is that cool, and then it was hands, you know, like it allowed for women to be hands free. So I don't know why I was talking about that, but I just, you know, find that when you find people who do things like that, it's really fascinating. So yeah, so that's why we do what we do. And I feel like for us, you know, our journey has been really crazy, and you know, just the things that we've come across in the last 4 or 5 years with COVID, and you know, learning about going deep into wellness, and just learning about whatchamacallit, just what your mind can do, and how you can change everything that you believe, and what, you know, your trajectory of your life, by really understanding how to change what goes on in your mind. And I think that's been a real learning curve for us, and really understanding that, all with the mental health issues that have gone on. I think that was something that Matt and I personally didn't really, I guess, look into that or really understand it. So those are all things that I've learned along the way, and these are all things that Matt and I really enjoy sharing. And we just hope that even if one person finds this conversation interesting, or it could really change how they see things, that's why we do what we do. So I think we could go further into that when we have more time, and pick topics that we want to go into each week. And I think that'd be really interesting. And then we'll start posting them on YouTube, because they are long form and it does take longer. But it's just kind of, we could just kind of talk about it, you know, whatever topic. Like today I was listening to Rich Roll, and he had this guy named Chip Conley on. It's really fascinating what he does. And again, he finds himself, what did he call himself? He was like an elder mentor. And I think it's really interesting how he looks at the different stages in people's lives. And we could go into it again tomorrow when we have more time. But he was saying that, you know, as a teenager and in the 20s, you're driven by your ego. And that whole time period, you have school, you have mentors who could take you into, you know, there's places where you can ask questions and learn how to live, you know, and get through these times, you know, of that, during that age. But once you get to like late, you know, mid 40s and up, then you start going into this cycle of not leading by your ego, but leading by, hopefully, your soul. But that gets really difficult because there's no school for that, and no one talks about it. So it's like, what happens? Like, you know, and then you start getting confused, but there's no, I guess, handbook for that. Like, you know, and there's no, like, where do you go from there? So you're like 45, now you're on to like later stages in life, but then there's no college, there's no like next steps. And it's just like, you're just in the abyss. So I think that's really interesting. And I think that's what having communities like we do allow for us to talk about it. And when people have these like, well, what happens? You know, why am I feeling this way? And then maybe someone could say something, and then you're like, oh, I understand that. Or like when I, you know, with all this like all this exercising I've been doing and all these things I've been doing, I have been learning along the way. Every day when I'm exercising, I am listening to a podcast. I am, you know, watching documentaries on people, and it's just really taught me so much about how, honestly, what you believe is what happens to you in real life. And I think that's really important, and that's all done in your mind. So that muscle is rarely talked about, rarely I guess worked on, right? Because people just think, well, you know, if you're tired, just get out of it. But what if you just believe you're tired? So you really need to train your mind, and that all comes from doing work. And the biggest work that I was telling Matt that you can do is probably learning how to meditate, right, Matt? And that's something that I've been doing, I think, for the last year every morning, and it's really helped anchor the day. When you wake up, I'm sure most people feel this, I'm not sure, maybe I'm the only person. I wake up with this feeling of real anxiety, like, and then it's just like, oh my God, like the pressure of the world is on you and you have a million things to do and you're like, I don't want to get out of bed. And that feeling, if you get controlled by that, you can get stuck and not come out of your bed. And then there's a lot of people who then go into real depression and all they want to do is stay in bed. And which we've learned and we've, seen this happen. And I feel like I just didn't have the tools or the understanding for why you just can't get out of bed, right, Matt? Like, well, just get up. But there's a lot of people who are in these states where they just cannot get up. And that's what I really was trying to figure out and understand. So I think
there's like that. Obviously, we consider a lot of these things which are serious and profound, right? But then sometimes we just want to have a little fun too. So it's like, if anybody has someone in their life, the world of addiction or alcoholism or recovery or whatever, we found this ridiculous. We're late to the game.
Oh my God, this show is
We found
hysterical.
this ridiculous show on Netflix called Louder Milk. Loudermilk. And it's like a lighthearted take on all this.
Yeah.
Short episodes.
Yeah.
Like when we finish the day and we're exhausted, we'll watch one of these and it'll make you laugh.
It's really funny. And it's a guy from Office Space, and it is true. It's like he kind of says it like it is to these people. And sometimes when you're around people like that, you're thinking the same, but of course you're not going to say it, but he says it. It's like, just get up, okay? And or like, where that girl who's in a really bad way. And he's like, well, I don't think it's working out for you right now really well. I mean, really? Look at you. And it's like, yeah, that's what you're thinking, but you're not going to say it. But it's really fascinating,
it's just
right?
Funny.
It's just really funny. So anyways, yeah, that is a really funny thing. But yeah, and I think we could talk more about that. And I think all this exercising, when I go back to looking at it, has really just allowed for me to not get into the best shape I've ever gotten. I've never been in a shape like this, and even when I was in my 20s, honestly. But that's one thing. But then also my mind has been blown by how much I've learned just during my time. And I think that's what we want to share. And I think that's what we want to, like when we're making product, we always have that in the back of our minds.
We always again and again have this experience where doing that workout or somewhere. And then you receive one of those little pearls of wisdom that get us inspired.
Yeah. And then we have nowhere to share it.
We just want to pass that forward and hope that you guys think they're as interesting and useful as we do.
Yeah. So I think tomorrow let's delve deeper into what Chip's messaging is. He's fascinating, and kind of let's discuss that and see what I'll discuss it with Matt, and we can have a little chat and a little banter about it. And then we'll put it up on YouTube and then watch it and then see what you guys think and give us feedback on YouTube. Let us, see if maybe some people have other experiences or other books they've read. But I think that's what's so important is just sharing these things, because where else were we going to talk about this? Because it is true. When you get into your midlife, there's no playbook. There's no college for midlife, right? It's just like, okay, you're screwed. Now you're going to get old. Not really. I think it's a very interesting idea and very interesting question. Like, yeah, there's junior high school, and then there's counselors, and they help you through those times. So why is it after this time, it's just all hell breaks loose and it's just like, whatever, right?
When it's even
kind of true,
crazier than it was in those earlier days.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's such a waste, because this is the time when you have learned all these things, right? So you could actually take all these learnings and actually do something quite amazing with it. But then there's just like, what happens? Like, no one cares, it seems like. And that's what he was saying is like, he's like, it just seems like then you become invisible. And it's so true, but not, because you know what? This is when you could be most powerful. And it's so insane that you have so much knowledge now. You've done all this work, and like if you do X, Y, and Z, don't do that because this thing will blow up. But who are you going to share that knowledge with, and what are you going to do with that knowledge? And like, and we live so much longer. And I think that's the other thing is like all these others, like then, when you go into, it's interesting because he was talking about retirement age, right? And Social Security. And that was, it's an arbitrary time, right, Matt? Like, and that was the time when Roosevelt was trying to get the older people out of work because there was a huge unemployment rate. So he needed to get these people out so that the younger people could actually work. So it wasn't like you know, oh, you're 55 and you're too old. It's not, you know, and then people are living way longer these days. So it's like amazing what, if you get that out of your mindset, like I'm old, or like, you know, even if you're in the 40s and you're like, I'm exhausted because I've got little kids. If you just decide to change your mindset and be like, okay, how can I change and reframe? I think it's really insane and it's really powerful what you can actually do with that, and what you can actually say, hey, you know what? I've always wanted to try this, but I'm too old for that, or I'm too tired for that. But you're not, and that's really what I want to say today. Anyways, we'll talk about it tomorrow. All right. And like most people be like, easier said than done.
Yes, easier said than done, but do it.
But sometimes you can't just do it. It takes a lot of things. Like,
Well,
it takes a lot of
move in that direction.
persevere. And I think
We've come across this over and over. You're right. You can't just get out of bed, but like take a baby step. Do one thing that you can do.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, and I think for me personally,
Not gonna get out of bed. Well, get dressed and stay in bed. Like just like some
Yes.
movement toward
yes.
the direction you want to go.
But don't stay in bed and try to get out of your room. And I think just that little step could change a lot.
Yeah, metaphorically speaking, the room and the bed.
Or literally.
Whatever your bed, or yeah, exactly. Whatever it is.
Yeah, it's important. It's very important, and just don't be stuck in your bed. Which I can see, if I didn't have all these practices, I could see myself sometimes where it's like, I just can't get out of bed today. I don't want to face all these crazy tasks I have to do. This is too much. But after doing my workouts and doing all these morning routines that sound so crazy, it really helps me focus and move forward and just keep persevering. Because it's funny, because I have this thing written up on my desk, and Matt and I both noticed it when we were watching, was it the French Open? And in the French Open, like the main circle where the champions play, I think there's something that says, what does it say? Victory belongs to those who persevere. And it's very true. You have to persevere, which means you don't have to make huge giant leaps of steps every day. It might just be one tiny step, but that's
Just
one
stay in the
step
game.
forward towards
Stay in the
persevering.
game.
Yes, stay in the game. So let's talk about it tomorrow, right? Okay, bye guys.